If you're a diehard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. The Cleveland Browns are once again at the center of NFL speculation, and when it comes to their quarterback situation, things are as murky as ever. Fans who thought that Shedeur Sanders or Dillon Gabriel might provide some clarity have quickly realized the franchise is not ready to declare either of them the definitive long-term answer. The Browns, as usual, find themselves under the microscope, not only because of the pressure that comes with being in one of football's toughest divisions, but also because they've developed a reputation for cycling through quarterbacks with alarming regularity. It's not an exaggeration to say that no other team in the NFL has more questions about their future under center than Cleveland. Each training camp rep, every preseason series, and every headline adds another layer to this ongoing saga. And the truth is, the Browns themselves don't seem fully convinced about any of their options. Dillon Gabriel, the former Oregon standout who came to Cleveland with plenty of collegiate accolades and a reputation for resilience, finds himself in a unique position. On paper, he appears to be the kind of quarterback the Browns could envision developing into something more: a strong arm, decent accuracy, and the kind of college experience that suggests he can handle pressure. Yet according to Jason Lloyd of The Athletic, even Gabriel might not be the future face of the franchise. That revelation alone should raise eyebrows among Browns fans, especially since Gabriel seemed to have the inside track on being more trusted than Sanders. The division of reps in practice, as Lloyd points out, has made it pretty obvious that Cleveland prefers Gabriel at this stage. However, favoring him now doesn't necessarily mean committing to him later, and that distinction is where the story really starts to unfold. What complicates matters even further is that Shedeur Sanders, despite his pedigree and the hype that followed him from college, hasn't done nearly enough to close the gap in this quarterback competition. In fact, his opportunities have been limited, and when he has stepped on the field, the play calling suggests the coaches don't quite believe he's ready to run the full offense. Fans notice these things, and reporters certainly do as well, which is why Lloyd emphasized that Gabriel's assignments in preseason look more like genuine tests, while Sanders' snaps feel more like controlled experiments. The Browns may trust Gabriel slightly more, but slightly more doesn't translate into being a franchise quarterback. In the NFL, teams don't settle for marginally better. They hunt for the guy who can carry the team for years. And if Cleveland doesn't feel either Gabriel or Sanders can be that, it makes sense they're already looking beyond both players for answers. This brings us to the most telling decision the Browns made earlier this year: trading down in the draft instead of taking a swing at a potential quarterback prospect. That move didn't happen by accident. By picking up an extra first-round selection for next year, Cleveland sent a very clear message to anyone paying attention: the quarterback they truly want isn't here yet. That's a bold choice in a league where general managers and head coaches rarely get the luxury of thinking about the future without risking their jobs. It suggests the Browns' leadership feels secure enough in its standing to wait, and confident enough that this season will not implode while they search for the right fit. But waiting is dangerous in the NFL, where 17 games can feel like an eternity, and one bad stretch can change everything. Still, Cleveland appears committed to playing the long game. In the meantime, though, there's still an entire season to navigate. The Browns cannot simply punt on 2024 while waiting for 2025's draft to arrive. That means Gabriel and Sanders, whether they like it or not, are competing for more than just practice reps. They're competing for a chance to prove they can be a bridge, maybe even a surprise breakout that changes the front office's mind. We've seen stranger things happen in football: players written off early suddenly catching fire when given an unexpected opportunity. That's the hope for both quarterbacks, but particularly Gabriel, whose skill set seems more NFL-ready at the moment. Sanders might still be raw, but raw talent has been molded before. The question is whether Cleveland's staff has the patience or the system in place to allow either one to thrive, or if both are destined to serve as placeholders until the real plan arrives. From a fan's perspective, this uncertainty is exhausting. Browns supporters have endured decades of quarterback instability, from high-profile draft busts to short-term veterans who never stuck around. It feels like déjà vu for the Dawg Pound, who crave stability at the most important position in sports. They don't just want competence, they want excitement. A quarterback they can rally behind and buy jerseys for. knowing he'll be around for the next decade. Gabriel and Sanders, at least for now, don't inspire that level of confidence. Instead, what fans see is another season of holding their breath, waiting for the inevitable rumors about next year's draft and which college star Cleveland might be circling. That cycle of anticipation and disappointment has defined this franchise for far too long, and unless someone emerges unexpectedly, it doesn't look like that narrative is changing anytime soon. The dynamic inside the locker room is equally fascinating. Players know when their quarterback isn't secure, and that uncertainty can ripple across the roster. Wide receivers hesitate to build chemistry when they don't know who will be throwing the ball consistently. Coaches struggle to tailor game plans without a steady presence behind center. Even the defense, as dominant as Cleveland's can be, eventually feels the pressure of having to carry too much weight because the offense isn't trusted. Gabriel and Sanders aren't just competing against each other. They're competing against history, expectations, and the patience of an entire organization. That's a heavy burden for two young players still trying to find their footing in the NFL. And while competition can breed growth, it can also create fractures if roles aren't clearly defined. For now, the Browns are walking a delicate tightrope between evaluation and commitment. Jason Lloyd's report serves as a sobering reminder that the Browns' actions speak louder than any quotes from coaches or executives. Trading down, limiting Sanders' exposure, carefully testing Gabriel. These aren't the moves of a team confident in their quarterback room. They're the moves of a front office hedging its bets, keeping its eyes fixed on next year's draft board while trying to survive the present. The NFL isn't kind to teams without quarterback certainty, and the Browns know this all too well. Yet, there's something almost daring about their approach, as if they're saying, we're willing to endure one more year of questions if it means finally getting the right answer. That gamble could pay off spectacularly if they land their guy in 2025, or it could backfire completely, leaving them stuck in the same cycle of mediocrity and missed opportunities that has haunted them for decades. So, what does the future hold for Gabriel and Sanders? Realistically, it's a season of auditions. Each practice, every snap, every throw will be dissected and debated by coaches, fans, and media alike. Gabriel seems to be in the driver's seat for now, but that doesn't guarantee him the wheel long-term. Sanders, meanwhile, must maximize his limited chances, proving he can be more than just a backup or developmental project. Both players are essentially living week to week, knowing the franchise might be preparing to move on without them regardless of what they do. That uncertainty is brutal, but it's also the reality of life in the NFL, especially in Cleveland. By the time the season ends, we'll have a clearer picture, but whether that picture includes either Gabriel or Sanders as the Browns' future leader remains highly doubtful. At the end of the day, the Cleveland Browns are facing a problem that has defined their identity for years: finding a quarterback. Gabriel and Sanders represent the latest chapter in this never-ending saga. Two talented athletes thrust into a situation where patience is thin and expectations are heavy. The Browns' decision to stockpile draft capital signals they believe the real solution is still out there, waiting in next year's draft. Until then, the team and its fans are left in limbo, forced to hope that one of the current options can at least provide stability in the short term. Whether that stability leads to victories, playoff contention, or just another frustrating year will depend on how much growth we see in the coming months. For now, all we can say is this: the Browns' quarterback drama is far from over, and the NFL world will be watching closely. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. The rumor mill in Cleveland has exploded, and it's sending shockwaves across the NFL world. Sources close to the Browns are whispering that Kevin Stefanski, the team's head coach, has reached a breaking point with one of his own players. Insiders suggest that Stefanski's frustration has boiled over after what many describe as repeated lapses in professionalism and effort during both practice and games. The speculation is that the coach has requested the player's exit, which is sending the fan base into a frenzy, with social media lighting up with opinions, theories, and wild guesses about who the mysterious player could be. While no official statements have been made, the chatter is relentless, painting a picture of tension and drama behind the closed doors of the Browns' facilities. The rumor carries weight because it involves a high-stakes team culture issue, where Stefanski, known for his composed demeanor, seems to have reached his threshold. This sudden burst of news has fans dissecting every recent game, play, and sideline interaction to figure out the target of Stefanski's ire. Analysts are theorizing that the dispute may involve a player whose performance has been inconsistent, possibly undermining team cohesion and affecting the Browns' prospects in the upcoming season. Some insiders hint that this isn't just about a single bad performance, but a pattern of behavior, perhaps defiance of coaching strategies or refusal to adhere to locker room expectations. The rumor further intensifies because Stefanski has rarely made such dramatic moves publicly, so the request for a player's departure suggests something deeply serious. Commentators are already speculating about how this decision could influence the team's dynamics, potential trades, or even the morale of star players. The NFL world, always hungry for insider drama, is buzzing, making this one of the most discussed behind-the-scenes stories of the season. Sources close to the organization indicate that internal meetings have become heated, with Stefanski reportedly expressing his frustration in no uncertain terms to team management. The whispers suggest that discussions about the player's future have been ongoing for weeks, intensifying after critical losses that exposed gaps in team discipline and cohesion. The rumor implies that management is now weighing Stefanski's request against financial, contractual, and public relations considerations, trying to balance the coach's authority with broader organizational stability. Social media platforms are ablaze with speculation, with fans suggesting possible names and questioning which player's attitude could provoke such a strong reaction from a coach normally known for measured responses. The tension in Cleveland is palpable, as everyone seems to sense that a major roster shakeup may be imminent. Analysts are predicting that even if the player leaves, the ripple effects will extend far beyond the individual, impacting team strategy, morale, and the locker room hierarchy in unforeseen ways. Adding fuel to the fire, former players and pundits have joined the conversation, offering their takes on Stefanski's leadership style and how it might clash with certain personalities. Many highlight that while Stefanski has a reputation for calm and methodical coaching, there have always been underlying pressures to assert authority over high-profile or controversial figures in the locker room. This rumor taps into that narrative perfectly, portraying a scenario in which the coach finally draws a line, unwilling to compromise his vision for team discipline. Speculation is rampant over whether this exit could trigger further conflicts or if it might serve as a catalyst for a stronger, more unified Browns squad. Every detail, from sideline expressions to social media activity, is being dissected as fans and commentators try to piece together the story. The narrative has all the hallmarks of an NFL drama that could dominate headlines for weeks, keeping everyone guessing about the identity of the player and the ultimate consequences of Stefanski's bold stance. Rumors also suggest that this dispute may involve more than just on-field performance, possibly encompassing attitude, leadership, or personal conduct. Some sources hint at clashes during team meetings, disagreements over play calling, and tensions with other teammates that have escalated over time. The story gaining traction portrays Stefanski as reaching a tipping point, no longer willing to tolerate what he perceives as detrimental behavior to team chemistry. Pundits are speculating that management's response will be telling, revealing whether the organization fully backs the coach's authority or if financial and public perception concerns will dilute his influence. Meanwhile, fans are eagerly debating potential scenarios on forums, podcasts, and social media, each theory building suspense and adding layers to the narrative. If true, this move could redefine the Browns' locker room culture and send a clear message about the consequences of crossing Stefanski, amplifying the drama for both local and national audiences. The timing of the rumor adds an extra layer of intrigue, coinciding with a period when the Browns are expected to make critical decisions for the season. If a player departure occurs, it could disrupt preparation for upcoming matchups, forcing Stefanski and his coaching staff to quickly adapt. Some insiders speculate that this could even affect draft strategy or influence trade negotiations, as teams monitor the situation for potential opportunities. The story is spreading like wildfire, with national sports media picking up the rumor and speculating on implications for the broader NFL landscape. Fans are especially invested because it paints a picture of high drama rarely associated with Stefanski, traditionally seen as a measured and calm figure. The tension in Cleveland, coupled with uncertainty about the player's identity and the future of the roster, is creating an atmosphere where every rumor becomes magnified and every interaction analyzed for hidden meaning. As the rumor circulates, players themselves are reportedly aware of the brewing tension, creating an environment charged with speculation and whispered conversations. Some insiders suggest that locker room dynamics are shifting, with teammates unsure how to react to the possibility of a peer being asked to leave. Analysts argue that this could either galvanize the team around Stefanski, fostering loyalty and unity, or generate fractures if players feel the coach is overstepping boundaries. Every tweet, interview, and sideline gesture is being scrutinized for clues, fueling a cycle of rumor and counter-rumor that dominates fan discussion. The narrative has evolved from a single player-coach conflict to a symbol of potential transformation within the Browns organization, making this story one of the most captivating and potentially consequential NFL rumors in recent memory, keeping audiences hooked at every turn. Behind the scenes, sources indicate that negotiations with management could be delicate, balancing Stefanski's demands with contract obligations, salary cap concerns, and long-term team planning. The rumor suggests that while the coach is firm in his stance, executives may hesitate to act immediately, weighing public reaction and future strategy. Fans and media alike are dissecting every development, speculating whether a trade, release, or reassignment is most likely. Social media communities are flooded with theories, memes, and speculative analysis, turning the rumor into a cultural moment beyond the football field. Analysts warn that if the player's exit does occur, it could have far-reaching consequences for team morale, leadership hierarchy, and even the coach's relationship with management, amplifying the tension surrounding what might have started as an isolated disagreement but now resembles a full-blown organizational drama. Adding another twist, some sources claim that rival teams are closely monitoring the situation, viewing the rumor as an opportunity to potentially acquire a player who may soon be available. Speculation suggests that if a trade materializes, it could shift power dynamics in unexpected ways, not only for the Browns but for the league as a whole. Analysts highlight the delicate balance between respecting Stefanski's authority and navigating the complexities of player contracts, performance, and fan expectations. Every angle is being examined, from locker room culture to public perception, making this one of the most multifaceted and tantalizing rumors in recent NFL history. Fans are obsessed with predicting outcomes, dissecting every clue, and imagining the possible scenarios, turning a single coach's frustration into a league-wide talking point that dominates headlines and online discourse. Meanwhile, the narrative continues to evolve as sports commentators weigh in with their interpretations, each adding layers to an already complex situation. Some argue that Stefanski's move, if true, could solidify his leadership and send a clear message about accountability. Others suggest it risks alienating key players or destabilizing team chemistry at a critical moment in the season. The rumor has become a litmus test for the coach's influence, management's decision-making, and the resilience of the Browns roster. Fans are tracking every rumor, analyzing past incidents, and debating motivations, turning the story into a full-blown spectator sport. The atmosphere around Cleveland is electric, and speculation runs rampant, with no clear resolution in sight, ensuring that this rumor will dominate conversations until an official statement, or dramatic confirmation, breaks the tension. Speculation is intensifying as insiders hint that the situation may escalate quickly, possibly resulting in immediate action that could redefine the team's roster and alter expectations for the season. Analysts are discussing potential replacements, trade scenarios, and how this event could influence the trajectory of Stefanski's tenure as head coach. Fans continue to engage in a frenzy of debate, sharing opinions and predictions while dissecting social media posts and player behavior for clues. The story has captured national attention, not only because of the rumored departure itself, but also due to what it represents: a rare glimpse into the pressures, conflicts, and decision-making processes of a high-stakes NFL organization. The tension, speculation, and anticipation have created a narrative that is as much about culture and leadership as it is about talent, making it one of the most talked-about sports rumors of the year. In the final twist of this swirling rumor, Sources suggest that the resolution of this saga could have lasting implications for the Browns' identity, team dynamics, and approach to discipline moving forward. Stefanski's rumored insistence on the player's exit is interpreted by some as a bold statement of authority, while others caution that it could spark unintended consequences within the locker room. The story has now transcended the immediate rumor, evolving into a broader discussion about leadership, accountability, and the balance of power between coaches, management, and players in professional sports. Fans, commentators, and insiders alike are captivated, dissecting every angle, theorizing every possible outcome, and eagerly awaiting the official confirmation that will either validate or explode the swirling speculations. This narrative, already rich with intrigue, tension, and drama, promises to remain a dominant topic of conversation as the Browns navigate the turbulent waters of team politics and professional sports culture. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!